Hey, Coach, can you hear us okay?
I can hear you great. Yeah, can you hear me?
Perfect. Yep, we got you.
All right. Um, Wanted to get with you guys today. Just we're in this long off season that's not normal for us, and we've got the combine coming up and all these good things happening as we go forward here. So it gives us a chance to talk and communicate with you on some of the new hirings that we've had, and then getting ourselves digging in on this off season. So in the coaching ranks, DeMarco Murray, as you know, was hired as the running back coach, and Chad O'Shea at the wide receiver position. Excuse me, and then Andre Curtis will work with David in the secondary with the safeties, and so good additions there. We've had a couple new quality control coaches come in likewise, and they'll work into the mix and help out. So it's sometimes change can be good as we've as we know, and this gives I think it's good for both sides. People have moved on and have had opportunities to hook on other places, and they'll be very successful doing that. And then likewise, the people we brought in, we feel will do the same for us. So all in all, positive there on the personnel side. Brett's already got his guys digging in on things. They're sorting everything out. As you know, there's a million different options and things that you have to look at doing it, but it's um, it's positive from the standpoint of where we're picking in the draft. You give Brett those opportunities with his staff, and they come up with good stuff. And we look forward to adding those new additions to the team. And then whatever happens in free agency, again, sorting all that out right now. The coaches are looking at tape on that, and the personnel department has sorted some things out for them to look at, and and we roll from there. But a lot of moving parts going on, but all good stuff to give us an opportunity to be better as coaches. We've been in our scheme evaluations and knocking that out in the early part of the day, and then in the afternoon we do the personnel side of it. So uh, nothing's set in gold for you or in granite. There, it's all moving along though as we go. So with that, time's yours. Ask ask some questions.
We'll kick things off with Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey Andy.
Hi, Sam.
Hey, a couple things for you. I wonder if you could go through a couple of the coaches that more specifically, like what did you see in Chad O'Shea and DeMarco Murray?
Yeah, so Chad's got a ton of experience. He actually had been a chief at one point in a in a backup type coaching position, but he a quality control position with special teams. So a coach for Mills staff, but he's been around. He's worked at a championship caliber level with New England, and he's had a lot of good receivers and done well with them. So that was Chad's part of it. I really like what he brings to the table. He's been in a coordinator position where he's got a good feel for the whole the way things are put together from a whole standpoint. And then DeMarco Murray is we know DeMarco is a football player and the great football player that he was. DeMarco's been at the University of Oklahoma, done a nice job there for 6 years, and had some good running backs. And I just thought him coming in that position would there would be a strength to that, and not only from an experience standpoint, but also the way he goes about teaching things. And I think he has a nice addition there. Excuse me. And then Andre Curtis, I've tried to hire Andre before. Um, when Steve came in, Spagnola came in, they've been together at three different places, and he's actually worked with every member of our defensive staff, and it was kind of that was an easy one to plug in and go, and it's it's great for Rod to have an opportunity to move on and do his own thing there at Arizona. So that's a plus for him.
And then as you formulate your offseason blueprint, have you received any indication from Travis at all about his plans for next year?
No, there is communication though. That's the main thing, Sam. And so I always go. I've said this before to you. Just as long as there's communication, I'm good. That means people want to move forward, and I think that's where Trav is. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth at all, and I try to give him some space here. He's been doing this a long time, and he can sort all that out as he goes forward. But we're proceeding with that, and there is communication going on.
We'll go next to Pete Sweeney. Pete?
Coach, I was just curious maybe how having a top 10 pick, obviously not a place that you want to be, has maybe intensified things for the personnel staff and just some ways that maybe you've seen that.
Yeah, Pete, you try to find some positives and sitting where you're at and why you're there, and then the positives are you get yourself geared down and get better. And so if this has a chance to help you get better, and that's how Brett feels, and that's the way he's going about it. And nobody wants to be picking at ninth, but we are. That's the reality of it. And so you dig in and you put a plan together and go for it the best you can. And he's had his guys in here. They've done a couple lockdowns already where he's had them in for a couple weeks, and they live in that room and go through all these different players, and so good things normally come out of those meetings, and look forward to how the draft goes.
We'll go to Todd Lebo next. Todd?
Hey, Coach. A
Hi,
couple
Tom.
quick things here. I know there's this civil case going on with Rashee. I want to ask you specifically about that, but does that thing hanging out there change anything you guys are considering at the wide receiver position, either in free agency or the draft?
I would tell you no. I mean, I can't comment on Rashee's situation. I mean, it's in law enforcement's hands, so I there's no comment there. But I would tell you no, not right now. That's not happening.
And then as far as like the cap, you guys will do all the work, and Brett's doing that stuff to get you down to where you can do some free agency things. But is this going to be one of those years where you just maybe can't spend tons of money in free agency because of where you are?
Yeah, that's listen, it's all pieces to a puzzle here. So you go through and you evaluate that and see where you can spend what's out there. Free agency is it's a little bit different animal and how you handle it. And so we'll see how things go. I mean, we're kind of sorting through all of that as we go. As you know, the combine ends up being an area where people talk, and you've got agents, coaches, GMs, everybody together, and so people have a tendency to you hear things, right? And people talk, and you keep your ears open and your mouth shut and listen and see what's going on. But until until the new league year starts, nobody can really dig in on it and go. But people like to talk in this league. That's why you're making a living at it, right? That's how it goes.
We'll go next to Jesse Newell. Jesse?
Hey Andy, you guys have had reunions before with like Kareem and Juju. Obviously, you guys know Tyreek really well, and he's a free agent now. I just wondered, in general, how do you evaluate whether a reunion makes sense for you guys to bring back a player like that?
Yeah, listen, we go through everything and everybody. I mean, that's how Brett does, and I don't even know if Tyreek is healthy right now. I mean, to do anything. So I'm sure he's working hard on that part of it and trying to get that all straightened out. But yeah, I mean, we talk about everything. So there's nothing nothing happening there. But we know what you know, and that he's out there and cranking away, trying to get himself back to where he can play. Period. And, so.
We'll go next to Herbie Tealby. Herbie?
Hey, Coach. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good, Herbie.
Hey, two questions here for you. The first one, I can't help but notice you're not on the media schedule for next week. Is there any reason why you're not going to the combine?
I couldn't take you guys any more than this right here, Herbie. I'll tell you, Herbie. I had a little knee procedure done, so I'm I'm on IR for about a second here. Not long though, Herbie. That's right.
So hopefully the recovery goes well.
Yeah,
So,
no,
Coach, the second question here, obviously, specific to personnel groupings, most coaches like to go into the offseason with wants and needs. What are your top wants and what are your top needs with these position groups?
yeah. Well, I mean, I can't tell you all the good stuff. I mean, that's a good stuff. But I think people, you're around the team enough to know. Um, I think there are a lot of moving parts that take place in the offseason. You've got to stay flexible. And with that, you've got to kind of evaluate what you've got here and how you're going to handle what you have here and what you want to bring in. And the whole cap part of it comes into play. Then you try to blend that with the free agency. A lot of moving parts that go on. And so we're in the process of doing that. Um, to give you an actual position, I'd probably wouldn't be very smart to do that, but I think you guys kind of you have your own opinions on it, and you go from there.
We'll go next to Nick Jacobs. Nick?
Yeah, Kelsey, I have a follow-up if I can, please. Andy, for my first question here, no matter what you do in draft or free agency, what does a player need to have characteristic-wise, work ethic-wise, not necessarily physically, for them to fit into what you guys have built here?
Yeah, you got to come in with the right attitude for sure, and again, that's a big part of this thing, and there is a fit. There literally there's a certain expectation that we've got, and we didn't reach that this past year. So, it's important that we take care of business from a coaching standpoint, from a organizational standpoint, whether it's personnel or front office, and make sure we keep the expectations high and aggressive, and then make sure we bring in the right people to be able to do that and handle that. And so that's the whole, that's the fit you're talking about. That's what we're working through.
And then you talk about how the coaching staff's going through scheme and everything during the day. For the offensive coaching staff specifically, what is it you're wanting them to kind of lock in on from tape to improve upon? I know you can't give specifics, but what are you kind of wanting them, general theme wise, to kind of improve upon and maybe check out the rest of the league for some wrinkles and everything?
Yeah, so we look at everything and everybody. I mean, that's how this league is. Try not to miss anything there. Right now, execution becomes the important thing to me, and how you go about that, the discipline of it, and how you go about it, and the trust within one another, all the things that make up a good offense. You narrow things down to what you think your guys do the best, and then you coach it with discipline and with expectation that this is where we're going right here. And it's your responsibility as a player to make sure that you're focused in on that. At the same time, the coach has got to give the player direction to get there. So
We have time for two more here. We'll go first to Matt Derrick. Matt?
Coach, a couple of questions, but one related to what Nick was just asking you there. It's do you anticipate that especially with the new staff and everything, that you're going to have a lot of changes to the offense, a lot of changes to what you're doing, and maybe we've seen versus the past couple of years?
well, there's always change. I mean, every year there's there's change that takes place. Is it a wholesale change? No. But we'll figure out the guys we have and what they do the best, and we'll put them in a position there to exploit their strengths and then to work on their weaknesses to get them better. And so that's the base premise there. And then execution becomes an important thing, and how you go about doing that at a high level. And so that's coaching and playing mixed together to make that happen. And you want to make sure though that you get these guys in the right position to where they at least have an opportunity to do that. And then they've got a responsibility to make sure they up their game to do the right things at the right time.
And you mentioned some of the things that you like about DeMarco Murray as a coach. There were reports that you had looked at some other guys and maybe bringing back Dylan McCullough and maybe Deuce Staley. What was the ultimate factor for you in choosing DeMarco, and what did you have to do to convince him to leave Oklahoma? Because it sounds like he turned down some other opportunities to stay there.
Yeah, he did do that, and was doing well there. I mean, he could have stayed there. He's a legend there, so he could have stayed there for forever, probably. But he wanted to get in the National Football League. He wanted to be here, and learn. I think hiring Eric Bieniemy, I think, is a big thing because Eric's if Eric's coaching the running backs, he's the best running back coach in the National Football League. So he had an opportunity to go back and do that again last year, and so we hire him here as the offensive coordinator. Well, if I'm a running back coach, what a great opportunity to learn. There's nobody better to learn from than Eric for that particular spot. And I think that intrigued him. Eric recruited him out of high school. So they've known each other for a number of years, and um, that was another piece of it. But I always look to see who works well together and what I think anticipate will work well together. I wanted to bring a young guy in that was a guy that was ambitious to learn, and and I thought DeMarco did a heck of a job. We talked to a lot of running back coaches, and I just thought that this was a pretty good fit.
We'll go to our last one here with Vahe. Vahe, go ahead.
Hey, Andy. I'll have a follow-up also, Kelce. Andy, hope you get off the IR here fast. You've mentioned a few times about a lot of moving parts and all the change, and I just wonder if you would, how you would describe to what degree you're kind of invigorated by this.
Well, no, I mean, listen, I love challenges. Every year is a challenge. This one presents a little different because of what we're coming off of after this last year. Nobody wants that. Fans don't want that. Organization doesn't want that. You coaches, players, they don't want that. So you dig in and you work to fix the problems that you think were in place, and and take care of business there. So that's what we're doing. And there's always change in this league, so that always presents different challenges there. And but that's part of the NFL. Whether it's coaches, whether it's players, I mean, there are things they're moving parts. And so when you're building it back up here, then you're looking at what fits and putting the pieces of the puzzle back together, whether it's coaches, whether it's, again, players. A lot of variables with free agency, with the draft, post-draft, the things that go on there, potentially picking up people. So it's it's going to continue for a while, and then eventually you get this group together and you have an opportunity to train them through the off season and then up through training camp, and it's great to see how that grows.
And then just to follow up, I wonder what you can tell us about Patrick's progress and how you see him kind of reintegrating in the weeks and months to come.
Yeah, he's around here all the time, spends a ton of time here, 7 hours a day. And he's in there cranking away, making progress every day. And it's great to see he and Julie, the real trainer, she grinds on him and makes sure that he stays on task and challenges him and everything else. And he keeps showing up. So that's about half the battle on these things when you have these injuries, that you show up, and it's not going to be a pleasant thing every day. You got to fight through it, and you got to attack the challenge of the workout and rehab. So he's doing a great job with that.
Thank you so much, Coach. We appreciate the time.